Happy day, friends, and welcome to those of you who are new here. So, the conversation that I am being led to have at this point in time is this conversation around nurturing yourself into the space. So, right now, there's this invitation that's being extended to the collective. Okay, and whenever I say the collective, I'm referring to those of us who have the awareness, whether it's this much awareness or this much awareness. I'm referring to those of us who have the awareness, who are aware of the fact that we are much more than this human experience. Okay, I am referring to those of us who have the awareness, who are aware that we are eternal beings, right? That this personality that I express, this personality that I am, is not the end all be all. Okay, so this conversation is for those of us who are aware of that, who are doing what we can to nurture that awareness. This conversation is for those of us who are doing what we can to ground into that awareness, okay, to center our lives around that awareness. So this conversation is for us, okay? So this invitation is being extended for us to step up into a new space, okay? And while I was meditating over this, I could just hear my spirit saying, you have to nurture yourself into the space. Okay? Not necessarily you have to love yourself into the space, but you have to nurture yourself into the space. I just felt, and I feel even right now, I feel this very deep, nurturing energy. Okay? This heavy mothering, and not even mothering, because fathers can be nurturing too, right? We all have that energy within us. We all have that nurturing, caring energy in us, right? All of us have the ability to embody that energy. So I was just hearing, and I'm also feeling this heavy nurturing energy. And I could hear my spirit saying, nurture yourself into the space, okay? So while I was journaling a couple of days ago, I wrote at the top of the page, spiritual initiation. Okay, spiritual initiation. And then a couple of days later, I started seeing different spiritual teachers talking about spiritual initiation, okay? And talking about how we're stepping into this space, we're stepping into a moment in time where we're being asked to, and we're being invited to go through an initiation. Okay, so the first thing that you need to do in order to go through this initiation, in order to step up into this new space, is you're going to have to identify an area in your life that could use more organization. Okay, and the reason why you're only going to identify one area of your life that could use a little bit more organization is because you don't want to overwhelm yourself, right? You don't want to overwhelm yourself with change, right? Change is a natural process of life. It's something that happens and occurs naturally. But with this initiation, with this invitation to step up into a new space, you really want to be intentional. Okay, you really want to be intentional. And so you want to identify this area in your life that could use a little bit more organization. And you want to commit to doing what you can to organize that area, that aspect of your life. You want to write about, you want to journal about, you want to identify what changes do I need to make in order to organize this aspect, in order to organize this area of my life. Okay, and you want to set the intention to do what you can to make those, to integrate those changes on a daily basis. Okay, I'm hearing right now that for many of us, the change will start with our mind. Okay, so one of the first things that you want to do, no matter what area it is of your life that that you're going to be focusing on as you move through this period of initiation, no matter what area of your life it is, you want to mind your mind. Okay, that's one of the first things you want to do. You want to mind your mind. So you want to start with asking yourself, what thoughts do I hold on to regarding this area or this aspect of my life? What thoughts do I hold on to? What thoughts cloud my judgment? What thoughts get in the way of me practicing discernment, of using discernment whenever it comes to this area of my life? And you want to meditate on that question. And then you want to allow your spirit to show you, to reveal to you what thoughts, what limiting thoughts you're holding on to that stop you from using discernment whenever it comes to this particular area or aspect of your life, right? And that's probably going to be 80% of the change that you work on as you're moving through this period of initiation, right? So, and what that means, you know how whenever it comes to getting healthy and working out and wanting to change your lifestyle in that aspect, what they say is that 80% of it is nutrition, 20% is the working out. So in this case, 80% is the thoughts that you think, the thoughts that you harbor, the thoughts that you allow to control the narrative whenever it comes to how you handle that aspect of your life. Okay, so 80% is the thoughts. So you really want to connect with and give yourself permission to see those thoughts so that you can begin to change them. Because you changing your thoughts, okay, and let's just use money for an example, and not even money, but let's use the topic of abundance for an example. Okay, in order to nurture yourself into an abundant space, you have to notice and identify what thoughts are stopping you from nurturing yourself into this space. What thoughts are stopping you from using discernment whenever it comes to how you spend your money, right? What thoughts are causing you to spend your money impulsively? What thoughts are causing you to believe that, you know, an old saying that our parents would say, money doesn't grow on trees, right? Or that money doesn't come easy. Like, what thoughts are stopping you from really nurturing your abundant self? Because here's the thing, you are abundant, right? You are an abundant being. You are a manifestation of God, of the source of all that is. So you are naturally an abundant being. But why? So, if you are an abundant being, if naturally you are an abundant being, what is stopping you from expressing that abundance? Right? This is why going through this initiation is going to be important. This is why nurturing yourself into this new space is going to be important. Okay, and let's just talk about the nurturing aspect for a little bit. When you nurture yourself into this new space, you're not rushing, right? You're not pushing, you're not pulling, you're not overextending yourself to make changes. I'm thinking of the book Atomic Habits right now. You're taking small steps, you're making small changes in order to create a lasting effect, in order to create change that is permanent in a sense, right? So if I'm going to mind my mind, if I'm going to work on my mind, if I'm going to nurture my mind, because that's one of the things in order to go through this, initiation, that's what I'm hearing, is you need to nurture your mind. You need to nurture your mind in order for you to really step up into this new space that you're being called to step up into. You need to nurture your mind. Okay, so that's going to be the biggest part with this process of initiation, is you are really going to be working on your mind, right? So that's utilizing affirmations. That's listening to music that is uplifting, that is reflecting back to you the truth of who you are, that is reminding you of who you are, right? So you want to make those kinds of changes. What am I allowing myself to take in? You want to identify, right? So you're identifying those thoughts. You're minding your mind, you're identifying those thoughts, and then you want to identify, what am I allowing myself to take in? What am I allowing myself to take in that is keeping me grounded in this self-limiting behavior whenever it comes to this aspect or area of your life? What am I allowing myself to take in? What thoughts, what conversations am I allowing myself to have with other people? What energy am I allowing myself to be around that is keeping me grounded or rooted in this self-sabotaging cycle, in a sense, right? So identifying those thoughts, identifying what you're allowing yourself to take in, what are you allowing yourself to consume, that identifying that and making those changes, right, those are two ways that you can nurture yourself into this space, right? This is not about what I'm hearing right now is that this is not necessarily about you gaining anything. You will gain something. You will gain something. You will gain something for sure on the other side of this initiation and in real time. In real time, you will be gaining something, and on the other side of the initiation, you will be gaining something. But initially, what this is about is you meeting yourself. This is about you meeting yourself. Okay, because right now, you have the awareness that you are more than what you always believed you were. You have the awareness that you are this eternal energy, that you are an aspect of the source of all that is. You have that awareness. And so now it's time for you to go deeper in that awareness. Because as you go deeper in that awareness, you will be able to create more of what your soul desires for you to create, right? Because there's this vision that lives within you that is a reflection of life more abundantly, right? And so in order for you to live life more abundantly, in order for you to create that life for yourself and for those that you love, right? In order for you to create that, in order for you to add more to the world, in order for you to give more to the world, you will have to go deeper in this awareness of who you are. Okay, so that's what this initiation is about. It's not really about you gaining anything, although you will be gaining. There are some things that you will be gaining, right? That is part of it. But the first thing that you want to realize is that you're going through this initiation because you are being called, asked, invited to go deeper in this awareness of who you are. So you want to nurture yourself into that space, right? You want to nurture yourself into that space. As you make the changes that you're being asked to make, as you nurture yourself into the space, you will begin to develop a more intimate relationship with your inner power, with your inner authority. Okay, so the other part of this, going through this initiation, is you coming back into contact with your inner authority. Okay, so that's another part of this process. That's another reward I'm hearing of you accepting the invitation to go through this initiation, to step into a new space. Another reward is this this opportunity that you will have to reconnect with your inner authority. Okay, and I feel like throughout the next few days after I initially post this video, I'm going to be recording more videos, probably shorter videos that kind of speak to this process of initiation a little bit more. But the first thing that Spirit really wanted you to hear is that you have to nurture yourself into this space. You have to be kind to yourself. Okay? And you do that by identifying one area, one aspect of your life that really needs you, that needs to be a little bit, that can benefit from being a little bit more organized. Okay, whether that's your health, whether that's your finances, whether that's your relationships, right? Whatever it may be, identify what it is, and then ask yourself, what are the thoughts that I'm harboring that keep me from, or that keep me rooted in the self-sabotaging behaviors whenever it comes to this aspect or area of my life? Okay. And then you also have to ask yourself, wow, I just lost it there for a second because I'm just like, I'm hearing you can see and feel the change already. You can see and feel the change already. So allow that feeling. Take a deep breath in. Exhale it out. So allow yourself to notice that feeling that you're feeling at this moment in time as you're hearing these words. Notice that feeling, and then give yourself permission to hold on to that feeling, to ground into that feeling. Because that feeling is what you are, that feeling is also why you are going through this process of initiation, so that you can feel that feeling, not permanently, but permanently. Right. Yeah, so that you can feel that feeling permanently, but not permanently, right? And I'm saying permanently, not permanently, because the eternal aspect of yourself is dwelling in that feeling. That is home base, right? That's home base for the eternal aspect of yourself, for the source of all that is home base. And that is the feeling that you want to carry with you, even when you go through the different transitions and changes and difficulties of life, right? I'm hearing that scripture. In this world, you will have trouble, but be of good cheer. I've overcome the world, right? This eternal aspect of yourself is greater than the difficulties, than the trouble that we may see or experience in this world. So as you're going through this initiation process, in the moments where it becomes difficult, you want to rely on this eternal aspect of yourself. You want to rely on your inner authority to pull you through those difficult moments. So you want to be in constant conversation with that aspect of yourself. Saying things like, I'm having a difficult, I'm going through this initiation process. I'm having a difficult time mentally right now. Give me a word to help pull me through this difficult moment. You want to speak to your inner authority in that way, because your spirit, your soul, your spirit will give you a word to pull you through. That word can come through yourself. It can come through someone you know. It can come through a video like this. But you want to be speaking to your inner authority in that way. I'm having a difficult time emotionally right now. Give me a word to pull me through so that I can stay focused, so that I can stay centered, so that I can stay grounded, so that I can move through this initiation process and receive the benefits from doing so. So like I said, I definitely feel like I'm going to be uploading, some shorter videos around this conversation of nurturing yourself into the space, and around this conversation of going through this spiritual initiation. If you have any comments, if you have any questions, make sure you let me know. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, make sure you hit the subscribe button. This is definitely, again, this invitation is being extended to us, to those of us who have the awareness that we are a manifested aspect of the source of all that is. Okay? And so, with that being said, as you're moving through this initiation, as you're stepping up into this new space, remember who you are. That's what this is all about. It's all about you remembering who the fuck you are, all right? That's what it's all about. So don't lose sight of that. That is the intention of this process. The intention is for you to remember who you are. The intention is for you to reconnect with your inner authority so that you can create this beautiful, abundant life for yourself. All right? So that you can go deeper in this awareness that you have regarding who it is that you are. Because you have the awareness, it's just time to intentionally go deeper in that. All right? I love you so much. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you next time.